Hi everyone, Susie Kwan here. Um, had this game for a while now. I've tried some of it out. Wasn't too sure I liked it. But after they updated the track, um, construction tools, I was a little more apt to try this. So I played around with the new tools to see what I could figure out. Because there's no real instructions on how to do this. Anyhow, there's like a menu you have to go into, construction menu, and it has the track stuff here. These are like 3-foot rail with different height. I think that's what it is height. Anyway, that's what I got. These first three are like the height of the groundwork is high, gets higher as you go up in number. And it's not a big change, but it's enough to, get some rail up off the ground. Anyhow, this one here will go onto the ground and onto road bed that you lay, which is down here, or embankments as they call them. And these walls here. Now these walls also come with a drop-down menu that has ballast with it and just rails. So what that is if you lay down a wall with just ballast, it'll have just ballast, it won't have rails. So then you'll have to lay rails on top of those, where if you hit rails, it's already got the rails on there. These are the old bridges, I think. I'm not sure how that works. I never tried it. This different bridges here that you can get. Fireproof, Denver, Rio Grande Western, Creosote, and Old, and also the new. New looks brand new. It looks like fresh cut wood. And then Bridges 3 is a metal bridge, got metal supports. These embankments are the same thing as these tracks right here, except that they don't have the tracks on them. Then you got typical switch with ballast or without ballast on each one of these. And this one has an inside switch machine. This one has a outside switch machine. This one is inner switch machine. This is outer switch machine. 90-degree crossover turntable. I haven't tried that. I haven't tried this turntable. And I haven't tried the bumpers yet. So that is how the menu is laid out for this. Now if we go back, you have to forgive me because I got this thing set up on a keypad, a number keypad that's separate from my keyboard, so I'm not totally used to it yet. Okay, so the available facilities are water tower stand, house, firewood depot. That's where you get your wood for your locomotives to fire them up. And then you got the engine sheds. Well, I've used these. I'm not sure exactly. Some guys are a lot better at this stuff than I am, so check them out when you get a chance. Okay, let's go back. Then you got your locomotive. They call it locomotives, but it's cars and locomotives because you got black cars. And then these have tiers too, so you have to watch. See, the first one is Tier 1, which is just a regular old logging car. It tells you down here it holds logs and steel pipes. And the next one is a black car. It handles lumber, raw iron, rail, and beams. So the beams are wood, rail is steel, raw iron is steel, or not steel, but it's iron, and lumber. Most of these come with the ability to change the number and put a railroad name on the side of the car. I use, this is the original information. I use NWRR for Newville Williamsburg Railroad. Anyhow, next one is another black car, Tier 3. It does cordwood and oil barrels. Oh yeah, I forgot you got your pricing down here, so you have to watch what you're buying and make sure you have enough money to do that. Hoppers, they handle iron ore and coal. Tankers hold crude oil. Boxcars do crate tools. There's caboose. And this is a way car, which is similar to a caboose. It just doesn't have a cupola. Hand car, I haven't tried that yet. Porter, of course I've tried that. Also, a lot of these come with different smokestacks, headlamps, and paint jobs, so you might want to look through that a bit to see which color you like. And this is the Porter 2, Tier 2. I don't think it has as much pulling power as the original. Yeah, it does. Tractive effort. Okay, and then you got your bigger engines. And they all change in looks. This is an engine that carries the wood and the water with it, so you call it a tank engine. It's 9550 as far as brake. Tracking effort. Montezuma, that's a newer engine. 3650. Eureka, this is one of them that's been pretty much with the game all along. Glenbrook, I don't know that much about that one. Heisler, no, Climax. What the hell I was thinking. Anyhow, Climax is a really good engine. That's good tractor effort. And they can pull a lot of cars. The only thing is, it pulls them slowly. And there's the Heisler. You can tell the difference because the pistons go sideways on this like a V8 engine. Where in the Climax, the pistons go forward to back at an angle. There's the Shea. Their pistons are up vertical. A little smaller engine. Oscar, I don't know anything about that one. Cook Moogle. That looks like a good performer too. I haven't tried it, so I can't give you any information. Most of the engines I haven't tried. I'm learning them as I go. Here's another one, pretty good tracking effort. I think that's it. So that takes care of that menu. Then you got these little tools down here, and this, when you want to use this, It'll only demolish, as it says demolish, it'll only demolish what you have in this drop-down menu. So, in other words, like right now it's rails. So if you choose rails, and then go back up here and choose your tool, you got a remover here. Now, it won't remove these tracks because they're permanent. But if you laid a track down, let me try it once so I can show you. Go up here and you grab them. Since this don't have any, it already has okay, so you lay this, let me lay it straight, and we'll take that off and put the rail tool on, and what it'll do is it'll remove that section. Now, the same thing happens when you pull up the demolish tool, and then your groundworks, it'll just do the stone below the tracks. And that's if the tracks weren't included with the groundworks already. If they were included, then you removed rail and groundwork. So you got to kind of keep in mind how your track was built. This will do bridges. This will do facilities like buildings and so on and so forth. And this will remove locomotives. Now, whether or not that gets rid of locomotives, I think it does. And you lose them permanently, I believe. This tool here is for re-railing cars when they get off the tracks. And then this tool is for cutting trees down. And some of these trees really fly. They go way up in the air. Okay, anyhow, let's get back to where we were at, because I'm going to have to start here. So, I thought I would try my hand at this and see how far I could get this to go. I want to include a little tutorial or whatever on what I learned on how track is laid and how things are done. So if I don't follow somebody else's line of thought on their tutorial or how things should be done, I'll do it the way I learned it. And whether it's correct or not, that's the way I learned it. And so it works. That's all that counts for me. I don't know all the technical ins and outs of land track, but I got my own little ways of doing things. So, and since if you look at this track, it looks like this track goes down here and cuts over, and right about in there is where the switch is for it. And then the next track piece connected to it would be another switch, because there's the other track. So this would be the central track going out here. And the way I did this, when I first started, and I really screwed this up when I first did it. Okay, you can go in and you pick your menu. And then since this has already got groundwork now, we don't need any at this point. Okay, now that little yellow thing there is called a link, and it tells you that as long as you have that link up there, if you press the key for point placement, which in my case is the number pad star key, it'll place the track down. Then once you do that, you have two modes. Maybe it's 3. No, I think it's 2. Okay, so this way you can not only produce a completely straight track when the radius is at 0 meters, but you can also, let me see, rotate. Okay, the curve is done with the T and R keys. If you hold them down, you can see the ends of the rail moving. And then all of a sudden they jump real quick because you're really getting tight. So that's negative 30 meters is the smallest it'll go. Or actually 30 meters, positive, negative. Then it gives you the length of your section of track that you're building, how long it is. Okay, so that's, then you got incline. And that is right and left bracket key. So as you increase it, I think 10 is the most, yeah. So let's say you go to 4.5%, and you can see how it goes uphill from there. So that's that. And then if you want to straighten it back out, use your R and T keys. And okay, they're not working. There you go. I hit the right key to do. So this will go to 1,000, then it goes to 990. But in between there, it's got 0. So look, there's plus, and there's minus. So depending on which way you went, you have to bring it back to 0. Okay, so I'm going to reduce that grade. And then we're going to build a straight piece of track through here. This is the way I learned how to do it. It's probably not the way everybody else does it, but it's the way I did it. So I go out here. And this is where the ground works end. You can see the little dip in it. If you go sideways here, you can really see the dip in it. There, right at the end of the rails. Okay, so I bring it out 118 meters just to get the lay of the track. Okay, so now go up here and we'll go back in these trees. Some people cut these trees down and everything, and they don't seem to bother me, but some people do it that way. Okay, and then there's a key to end construction. It says E, but I think mine is number 7 key on the keypad, so yeah. Then we need a turnout. And the turnout, this one has ballast on it, so we don't need ballast. We can do it without ballast. Choose this one. And then you have 3 points on each foot. This is really great. They changed this from the original. With these new spline tracks, they have 3 points on them, which is really great. I mean, it's kind of exciting, actually, because they actually work rather well. So if you use your bracket keys, you can select the link point where you're going to link it up to the track. But in this case, all I'm doing is I'm going to use the switch as a gauge as to where I want it to be. Okay, so here's your second link point, and your third is here. And then if I hit it again, it'll go back to the original. Now, if you take that and then use the N and B keys that it says in the instructions, you can turn it, and it's turning at 10, and the grid is 10 degrees. So it's turning every 10 degrees when I hit the key. So here we are. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. The way I said it, that was a good guess for some reason. Anyhow, I placed the switch. I'll pick it up later. And then what it does is it gives me a chance to line up the straight track. Okay, Here we go with the trees. Anyhow, it's like the people cut them down. Okay, so we're going to need to pick up this rail. Now, I'm not going to link to that piece at all. I'm just going to pick up the rail. I only used it as a gauge as to where I'm going to place my track. I'm sure there's simpler ways to do this, but this is my way, so you'll hear me repeat that several times. But anyhow, let's go back in the menu and choose this track here. Now, even though our track is facing the wrong way, it'll still line up and come out when you link it. It'll face the right direction. Watch this. See? So now I just go forward. And the closer you get to it, the more accurate you can be. So, this switch here, I like to keep it at round numbers. It's 62.4, so I'm going to back it up to 62. Set it there. See if I can get it to work there. Now, we're done with that. We'll pick up this and now that just set the first switch. I still got another switch to put in there for the other track. Okay, why am I getting that? There we go. Okay, now back this up. Go back into the menu. Pick it inside, and it's gonna, if you're facing the other direction, it's going left-handed, so we want this left-handed, and we want to change the link point for this track. See, if you try to put it here, there's no link showing, but if you put it there, the link shows up. So now I can set the track, and there you go. All I did when I had the track, when I laid that switch, was you'll see it connect the link, and you'll see its track show up underneath your illustration turnout. And you'll see two. You'll see one that's laid and connected, and then you'll see the other one, which is just a demo, so that you can line things up and so on. That's the only difference there. And then this, excuse me, I'm going to eyeball this as best I can. We need the track to connect up to this set of tracks. So, grab some more of this and place it. And then I can run it out to where it looks like it needs to curve. Whoop. Oh, 32 meters. That's probably just right. I'm going to go back to 30. This gets really tricky. If you were to change, if you get stuck in a track, just hit your jump key, which is enter. I got set. Which I was stuck in a track right there. Okay, 30 meters. Okay, 30 meters. Come on. Okay, now I'll attach it again. And this time, I'm going to go out of the circle mode and go into freehand placement. And what happens now, the track is able to flex and then attach. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. I don't want you to connect there. There we go. And this automatically lines up as long as you have it on a connection link. And if I put that there, it'll straighten the curve out and bend it as properly as possible. There you go. That's what we got done so far. So now, and I know it's a lot of work, but I have to go in and destroy my piece of track again because I gotta place a switch there too. And this may not turn out like I think. May need to put a little short piece right in between the two. Yeah, see, that's going to come out right in there. So let's put, okay, let's put a piece of track on here. Make it straight. After I'm done laying this, I'm going to show you how I made, or how some of these things will work on these tools. Okay, so I'm going to go out, I think. I'm just guessing at the 8 meters. Okay, now we go we need a right-hand switch or turnout. And we can't face it that way because that machine would be into this track. So we got to use the inside one and then hook it up at the point side instead of the frog side. And now watch this. You got your demo track there. So line it up, you hit the point link, or link point, whatever, and the track will show up turnout will show up underneath. There you go. Then you just quit your machine, tool, sorry. Okay. And then we come back here and we'll lay another piece of switch or rail to connect these. Hope you're seeing how this is done because I'm probably not explaining it all. And then you move up, take it out of circle mode, and then you'll see if you got it in the circle mode where you draw the curves and your straights, it won't have a link there, see? Now here, I'm going to take it out, and the link will be there. You got to have a link to hook the tracks together. Okay, here you go. There, yeah. So that's for that track now. We got to go down here a way with this track. So I don't think that's curved. Well, it might be curved all the way from there. But to tell you the truth, I'm going to take a turnout here that's a right-handed turnout. And I should be able to put this in normally. Now, what we have here okay, I'm just eyeballing this right now. I'm going to need to move this up right about in there somewhere. Maybe a little further. But I'm not going to put that in there right now. I just want to see how it works. And we're going to put a little short, maybe 4 or 5 foot section, or meter section in there. Keep forgetting we're in meters. Okay, so now you tell when you're in straight mode because there's no measurements to really in this non-circle mode where it does the ones real flexible like that. There's no length of the track, but if you hit the C key, it'll go to circle mode, and then you'll get lengths. So I'm going to say about 5 meters, which is about a little over 15 feet. And we'll hit it there, and then we'll get the right-hand turnout. Place it there. Oop, nah, hit the wrong key. Place it there. Let's see what we get. Oh man, maybe a little bit more. Maybe 5 foot or 5 meter 5. Let's try that. Maybe 6. Let's go for 6. So I gotta get rid of these two. It's a little bit of a process to do some of this, especially the way I do it. But like I said, it works. That's all that counts for me. Okay, so we want this here again. Come out to 6 meters, we said. Grab a switch, turn out. Now let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, we can get away with that. It's just a little bit off, and to fix that I would have to do like 6.5 or something. But in this case, I'm just gonna roll it up there and click. Now let's see how we did. That ain't too bad. It's got a little wiggle in it, but it ain't bad. Okay, so this way I can run a car around if I want to, or locomotive. These tracks right here are the tracks where the cars all show up. So you're gonna get, the best you're gonna get is 5 cars that I can see. You get 1 here, 1 there, 1 there. That's 3. And then you'll get 2 more on these tracks, and that's the end of it, and then it'll question you about how much room you have in the yard. So that's just part of the game. So, okay, so I'm going to go in here and chop down some of these trees. Chop them down, you have to touch the trunk. Okay. Now we got that. Now I want to extend the tracks out further this way, only because I need to get this track over to that side somehow, because we hit the map key. We're here where the arrow is, right dead center in the map. And we need to go off to the left to get to the logging camp, because that's the first place you got to go to with your 1 car, or if you buy some more like I will, you'll drag those up with the porter up to that logging camp. It takes a while to build this track. Oh yeah, then in I'm gonna just grab a piece of track here and show you how these track things work. I mean, you're seeing some of it as I build it, but let me get it out of here where you can see it. Okay, if you use the N and B key, you can turn it around by the degrees on the grid. The grid is controlled by the E key, and what it does, it goes like 10, 100, 1. Oh no, it's actually 1, 10, 50, 100, and then back to 1. Now, if you look at the track as it's in 1 mode, it's really fine movement. Now, if we go to 10, it'll start to snap a hair. See? It's snapping, but it's moving farther away. Now, if we go to 50, same thing, it goes even farther. See? So then, let's go to 100. Yeah, that's a big jump. So you got that, and it does the same thing this way, too. Okay, let's go back to 1. We're at 100. Go back to 1. Now it just moves a little bit. But if we add 10 to it, now it moves a little bit better. 10 seems to be the norm, you know. Oh, also, when you use the N and B keys, you'll see the alignment change of the degrees of the wheel. So, and you use that when you're lining up track to connect it. But also in this mode, you can do gradient. Oh, I have to have it stuck down before I can do that. Let me try that. Okay. Now if we put some incline on that, you'll see the end of the track move up. Okay, now watch the end of the track. I'm going to use the N and B keys now to change the end of the track. Now when you bring that out, it gets a little buggy, but as you can see, it's going uphill. It's 6.5, you know, which is a lot. And then if I go the other way, you can get S-curves out of them like that. And you'll see me use this quite a bit when I'm making track. So that's the incline, the grid, and it's not in circle mode right now. Now, if we drop this back down to normal, and we'll take we don't need to do this, you just need to change it to circle mode by going C, and now it goes into circle mode. But I showed you that you use the T and R keys to do the turn radius. And it's usually anything just slightly above, like 30 meters or negative 30 meters, negative 40 meters, negative 50 meters, so on and so forth, to get your curves, because 30 is minimum, and max is 1,000, which isn't very much at all, but it does, when you do go into 1,000, like that, it's got just a very slight little turn to it. You can see it as I'm pulling the track out. Now if I pull it back to 0, it straightens out. See, the radius is 0 now. But if I do 1,000, it's just a very slight turn. So you can custom build um, proper tracks without having to do it put it in there manually. Uh, it can do it by the mathematics and do a proper laying of the track, so you can get like easements in there if you want, and so on and so forth. An easement is a term they use to bring the train into a curve at a wide radius first, and then a tighter radius towards the arc of the middle of the arc of the curve, and then it brings it back out smoothly. It does the same thing as a straight curve does, but the easement curve is less, uh, uh, what do I call it? Less forces on the couplers and the train wheels and so on and so forth as the train goes into a curve. Now on bigger railroads, they even have a thing called super elevation, that tilts the train as it goes into the turn to allow the center of gravity to stay low. So that works too. I did some stuff with Train Simulator with my husband, and it was, they used that super elevation and easements in there. Anyhow, this is what I got laid down here so far. I'm going to lay out most of the yard first, and then I'll go to the logging camp. Let's just do that first. Okay, I'm not a big fan of this 1, but 2 I am. Okay, so, also did you notice that the track was at an angle when I went to lay it? It keeps the last known direction that the track was aligned at. Okay, we're at 0, let's stay at 0, and I'll bring this out. All this track right here is going to be is for a guide. It's more of a runaround track than anything else. I'm just going to bring it out here and make it about 100 yards, or 100 meters. And all of this is just to guide me for right now. Because I'm not real sure these tracks are aligned properly for... Okay, these rails here were done with ballast because I didn't want to change them. But, I mean, this turnout was. But the rails were actual non-ballast tracks. Okay, so if you want to be picky, you want to start out the direction, you can turn it. And then hook it there. And this is a straight piece, so we're going to run it out to about the same place where this one is. And you noticed I used a ballasted track to over top of ballast that was already laid. Okay, that's 43, 44, there we go. That should do it. Okay, so now I got 2 tracks there. Now this one, I want to lay what do you call that? A firewood depot. I want to put it right about in here. But you get the spirit of it. It's really hard to place. And also, I need a turnout here that allows me to go behind it, because when you put down the firewood depot, there you have to deliver your wood to the back side of it. So the way it's placed is it's placed from the front side. And it's really hard to place. I'll try and place it here. I want it next to the water tower, but I don't want it right on top of it. It's really hard to place, I'm telling you. Oh, wrong. Let's do this again. Okay. What facility? Oh, I hit train again. Jeez. Metal block, I guess. We do this again. I want facilities. Firewood depot. Okay. So we come up here. And just move it side to side till you see the two outer ones have about the same spacing. And then click it from the rails, spacing from the rails. And then click it. Okay, we're pretty good there. Okay, so now I'll show you. Now that that's down, even though it doesn't look right because of the terrain, you have to put embankments underneath of it to make it look right. But here's the dock where the wood is loaded, and that's indicated by it'll take lumber, logs, beams, or cordwood. Beams is that one at the bottom, to resupply those stacks. So each one of those stacks has like 100 firewood in it right now. That's what you get when you first lay it. So then you can put your track in here. And I set it like this. It's easier to back up and judge it. And then once it's up against the embankment or road bed, is up against the pillars, I back it off about one click from maybe two, maybe it's two. Yeah, it's two. And you make a straight line. And this is the way I do it. And I end it at the shed. Close, approximate. Because nothing's exact in this game, I'll tell you. Boy, it's hard to get 18 there, isn't it? See if I can grab one. There it goes. Okay, so then we're going to need a turnout that actually has a left-handed switch. So let's get rid of this track. We're going to put a left-handed switch right here. Now this has to be an inside one because I keep calling them switches, but they're turnouts. So that's a left switch with an internal um, the reason why I chose the ballasted type was because we're going to be sticking out the end of this already laid ballast. Now, even though it's off a degree or two, it's going to line right up, so that's the whole idea of the link. Okay, now we got that squeeze problem up here. I don't think this is going to look right. Let's try it. Now we got to take it out of circle mode, or out of circle mode. And here's where you're moving, it says 10 on the grid, so 1 should do it. Whoops, wrong way. There, now if we come up here, that's going to have a little bit of a wiggle in it, I think. Okay, let's see how it did. That's not too bad, it's a little tight. But I can't remove the other track, so we're going to do it with what we have here. And then this one is going to have to hook up to this one over here. See, it remembered its last position. And if we turn this, let's turn around here. I may have to go further back to do this. Thinking, sorry. Good thing you're not here, you'd smell the smoke. Yeah, see how tight that is? Okay. So let's get out of that. Move all this track we just laid. There's a lot of that you do in this game. So, this will stay on. We'll put the track back the way it was. And, yep, too far away. The smoother and wider radius curves you can make, the better off you are for these trains. Because one thing they are, is like they're interactive or whatever you want to call it. They're constantly readjusting themselves to the rails. Okay, so I'll do that. Now down here, I'm going to remove I have to remove this turnout so I can put a different one in there. I think it'll fit across these rails here. Okay, it's a lefty with the outside turnout machine left outside. Yeah, it'll fit there. Okay, so now that's connected. And we're gonna remove this piece of track for right now. This is called designing on the fly, because I have no idea how to plan for this somewhere else or with another program or anything. I have no clue. So, we need to get another left-hander with the same setup. the link point to this. Place it there. That'll give us, that should give us what we want. Okay, so back to ballasted track. This will go up here. Okay. Even though it looks like it's not right, once you hit the link point button, the new point button, the link will actually do all the math and straighten the track out, make the proper curve and everything, which is really nice. See how nice that is? Let me get rid of this track. There we go. Need to cut down a few trees. Fly. Rolling all over the place. And some will go flying way up in the air. Okay, I don't like taking too many trees out. I just need them out of the way so I can see the turnouts and stuff. So, okay, so there we are with that. So now we can deliver wood to the firewood depot. We have a crossover. Not a crossover, we have an extension onto that track. And then I think this will line up with a 90-degree piece of track. We need a freight depot track. Excuse me. Alright, so that's at 89. So we need, then, see how it says 89, negative 89? So what we do is we hit the E key, goes to 50, 100, 1. Now if we hit R, or N, or B, it'll change. Yeah, now that's 270, which would be the opposite of 90. Okay, so now we hit it one E key one more time. We get 10, and we can turn this around if we want to 90. Then go over and set up our, that may be a little too far. I think I'll put it right on top of the posts. And yeah, you can tell if you're in circle mode, just move it out a little bit and start wiggling it around. So now we're in circle mode. And I run this to the end of the dock. And then take the nearest meters. And that's it. I'll do that. Then we need to attach this track to use as a guide as a straight piece out to where we're going to go. Now, I built up the logging camp before, so I do have an idea where I'm going. But for those who've never built this before, it's a bit of a challenge. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this at 100 meters. And like I said, I'm just using this as a guide. we're going to build some ladder tracks here after we get this established as to where this track and this track connect up. I don't know if I can do that or not, but let's see if I can. Okay, that would be a right-handed switch. Turn out, sorry. And then we want it to be on the leg part of the diverging side. So that was right in the first place. Now you'll notice it'll have the link, but if I try it over here, it doesn't. So then use your N and B keys to line it up, even though it'll snap if you do it. There, now let's see what we got. Nah, see, that's not good enough. So we'll take this piece out. And we'll extend this maybe 10 meters. Just for the fun of it. That's probably not going to be enough either. But I say it was right hand. Right hand outside. Yep, we got stuck in the track again. See, if you hit jump, it takes you out of it. Okay, now we can get that in there. And you can actually do that here too by turning the radius. And I'm just showing you, I'm not going to try and do it. But as soon as I get my keys together here, if you go over here, you'll be able to see it better. Now you see, if you wanted to have that as a standard 120 millimeter, or half millimeter, 120 meter curve, you would put a straight piece on there first, and then this would be like sectional track on a model railroad. And here, looks like it's going to be about 210 if I could do it, but I can't see. Let's see, they need a little straight piece to do it. So I need a little straight piece at that end to make this work. But since I have the ability to use a special tool to handle this, I hit the C key and get out of that mode and turn it this way, snap it, and let the mathematics do the work. Ta-da! That looks pretty good. Now let's take the trees out. Yeah, I'm a little slow at this. Like I said, I'm not here to rush anything or do it a specific way. This is just the way I learned it. And if it's uncomfortable with somebody else, That happens. I don't know what else to tell you. It's, there's probably more efficient ways to do it, but this is the way I do it. It looks pretty good when I'm done, So, then we're going to build some storage tracks here. And they call this a yard ladder, what I'm going to do next. So, we need another right-hander. And it's going to go to this one. So that lines up properly. And then, gotta get some track to make a guide for the other side here. I like to turn them around just so I got an idea of what the heck's going on. Okay, so we're going back in the circle mode and reduce that radius. Actually, increase it. Okay, so now we got 0. That means it's in straight. I think it'll do 150 meters and then the graphics disappear. Okay, so here's a problem. But in this particular case, it's not going to be a problem because I'm going to be putting a turnout in there to cross this back over and make, see how that graphic disappeared? I don't know why that does that. It's over 100 meters and it starts doing that crap. So, I want this track to be a storage track. I'm just going to run it out to 100 and let it sit there for a bit until I figure this out. Okay, the alignment isn't always exact on these tracks for some reason. I don't know. But I know I'm going to have to go back into those words behind us. Or not behind us, in front of us. So, and I want to get that ladder track working, so I'm going to put a turnout in here. It is a left-hand turnout. And I need it in the original position. And then I'll have this to go over to here. Once I get the rest of the turnouts figured out, it'll go over into here onto a track that runs alongside of the stock on the right hand side of it as we're looking at it right now. So it'll go through here and then it'll create the ladder track over this way. And then I'll use this track as some kind of auxiliary or engine storage or something. Okay, so let's see if we can put 2 more in here. Oh, you know what? I think I'll do it the other way. Because I can put the turnouts right off of this one. Hopefully they'll line up. I don't think they will, though. We'll find out. Okay, so we got a problem right away. Because if I put a right-handed turnout there, it has to have a, let's see how it looks. Right-hand turnout, outside, and it links to the diverging, no, to the opposite one, yeah. Okay, so we're good. And then there should be another one right behind it. And then there should be a lefty mounted to that. Pretty sure that's how that works. Yeah, lefty, sure. That's what I think. And put it on the inside one. Okay, you see it's not aligned, but if I put it down, poof, puts it in there in alignment. That's pretty nice. They really did a good job on these splines. Okay, so in fact, before the splines were introduced, I was really reluctant to play this anymore. The track was so wobbly and everything, it was terrible. The trains would come off the track, and I didn't feel it was very enjoyable at all. And then, let's see, we'll go down this way and see what we do. So it's not going to line up with that one. So we'll have to use that as a, yeah, was that the one that, yeah, we'll have to put like a turnout here to either to that track or over to this one. This ain't gonna hook up. I don't think so anyhow. Maybe it will. Nah. It's got to be closer over here, I think, to do that. Okay, this is 157. I think it's 160 maybe. Yeah, tree in the way. Nope. Anyhow, after you get so far out, that graphic disappears. And you get this blank looking track. Okay, let me try to switch here. So that's wrong. It needs that one. And if I spin it around, no, it needs the other one. Let's see how that lined up. Nah, look at that, it's way off. So, now this can be done, you just have to be real patient with it. Take this turnout out of here. Well, no, this, we're just going to keep adding, or, adding pieces of, small pieces of track, and then deleting them until we get the right length. And then we add the turnout to it to see if we line up with that track. let's make it 4 meters. This is total guesswork. And these are going to be right hand outside. Man, that's close. Now, get that turn out of the way. Yep, no cigar. Okay, let's get this tree out of here first, because it's being a pain in the backside. Okay, so that was 4, and we'll try 5. It'll probably end up being some 5.5 or something on that order. It's stuck in the track again. Whoa. It's gonna be more than that, guys. Phew. Okay, that was 5, so let's do maybe 7. Might be overdoing it. We'll see. Close. That's real close. Yep. I could add on about a half, maybe. So that was 7. We'll make it 7.5. That looks like it's over it. Yeah, you get in these situations too where you can't really align it straight, so you just have to go with the flow, and well, that looks pretty good. Close enough. Now you take it out of circle mode, or you put it in circle mode, and it should, oh no, you take it out of circle mode, I'm sorry. Okay. The way to do this is just change your angle. Why is it snapping so damn tight? It definitely doesn't like that particular bit of track right there. It won't link up. So, let's stop that. Take this one out. I think this is just a little short one here. Nope, it was a long one. Oh well, that's the way it goes. It'll look better. We'll start at this end and go towards the turnout. Wish they'd give us that God mode speed on the walking part of it. That would be so nice. They must have left it in there by mistake, and they had it there for about 5 or 6 days, and they changed it. It was really great because you could run from one station to the other without any trouble. It was better than teleporting, I think. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Okay, we want to go into straight mode so far. Now this is probably going to get tore up again too because we got to put that other turnout on here. Now I don't know if I want to put it on this side or the other side, so I got to make a decision on where I want to place it. So, see, it just went blank on me. I don't think it'll hook up. Okay, let's do the 150 meters seems to be the going length. And then we'll just hook this up. See, it's not off that far. Now we take it out of this mode, put it in circle mode. Oh, that's non-circle mode, sorry. It hit it, and boom, we're connected. So, this track here, I gotta make a decision. And we'll put the old tree cutter in there. Go ahead and disappear. Okay, so I can either put a track or a turnout right here and add it to there as another like runaround track, runaround storage track, or I can do the same thing over here and make it longer, which is probably a better choice. So we go to the end of this one. Because this over here is just tracks that we got for adding cars and stuff. Then I wonder why we couldn't. Wish they had Y switches for Y turnouts there. That doesn't always work either, but anyhow. I could put a turnout there and make it go to that track. I could put a turnout here and make it go to that track. The problem is I don't know the spacing is going to be correct. So let's go here and see what kind of spacing we got. It should be working right. Go take this track out, put a turnout in here. It'll be a left-handed inside turnout. this is going to be the same turnout, only it has to be on this one. So let's turn it around. Yeah, see, it's not going to line up. And if you did put it on there, I don't think it would line up enough to connect. Yep, so I think we're going to do it the other way. Put that piece of track back in there. This is Railroads Online lane track on the fly type design. I have no idea if there's a program out there that helps you build the track or not. Yeah, a mod. If there is, I don't know. Okay, so I'll take this all the way out to here. Get out of circle mode and connect it up. And so this one's going to be, the same thing's going to happen over here. I'm going to take this piece of track up, bring this one down after I get the turnout in there. I don't think, yeah, I got to use our right hand inside. Right hand inside. Oh, wait, you gotta get rid of the other track first. And so that'll go in this. Wow, it's gonna be tight. Yeah, maybe not. We shall see. Yep, stuck in the track again. Yeah, looks okay. We'll work with that. Now where that track will go is up to the oil refinery, ironworks, and the crude oil station. I gotta remember, I got 100 meters and then start again. It snaps in place if you are using the non-circle mode. clear a little space out. Yep. Here we go. Get this thing. Okay, now I hope these tracks will align properly. There's only one. Still. Okay. So, 100 meters, we're gonna stop. I don't have to, I just do it to make it more convenient so I don't lose the graphic. And I'm hoping this lines up with the turnouts coming from the opposite direction. Who knows? The one first try I did with building a yard here, it was terrible. It's because I didn't understand how things were working and that I could rip things up and put small sections in, and I thought I had to do it all in one big piece and so on and so forth. Because there's no instructions on how to do it. I mean, you can listen to guys on videos and stuff, like people on videos, and hoping that they know what the hell they're doing. But a lot of those are really, they're looking for perfect track, and I'm not really looking for perfect track. Doesn't matter to me as long as it's functional. And I'm not picking trains up all the time. I guess re-railing is the term. What we need to do is add a right-hand switch here, turn out here. And this is going to have to be that one. No. This one. And I think we can get away with maybe putting the other one here. Okay, so it's damn close. That's another reason why the 100 meters works. Because now you can make two sections, and you can make one adjustable where the other one stays in a straight line. But you can't really tell it unless you're really being nitpicker. Rivet counter, you know. Which I'm not. See, it's not that far off. Out of circle mode, attach. On this one, I think I'm going to go eliminate this piece of track and then try and connect it up from the shortened end here. That should work. Oops. I started it wrong. There's a few down there. Yeah, so let's take a look at this, see how it lines up. Yeah, you can't really tell it. That looks pretty good. So now, this one will end up being darn near out where I need to start the curve right now. I could just bring this in over that way. Which is okay with me. I just gotta see how the alignment's gonna be. Turn out as a right hand. Inside. Decisions. See how this fits in there. My hand outside. Flip it around. It's close. Okay, so if you remember, we ended the track at the edge of the dock. So if we take this out, it should line up with that. And this should line up with that if we get it correctly placed. Yeah, like I said before, I know I'm slow. I don't care. As long as it works. So this almost lines up. I get out of circle mode and put it in. And I'll just stay in that loose kind of mode. Took her up there. Oh, I didn't really need that in there, did I? Yeah, I didn't need that. Duh. Okay, well. Okay. This thing ain't doing its job right. You have to kind of get around with the graphics to get it to work. Move to a different position is what I meant. Okay, that looks pretty good. Clear out this tree. The reason why you clear all these trees out on the sides and especially near the turnouts is so you can see the flags on the turnout stands, the stanchions or whatever they're called. So let's take a look at this. I'll go over here and stand on the dock and look at it. I don't know how to get up on top of the buildings. Okay, so we got most of it in there. And it's complete, ready to run. I'll need to put some extensions on the ends of those yard throats and so I can run that train around here. But as far as that goes, this is pretty much the end of this video. And I appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thanks, and have a good day. Toodles.